And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MidwestLAN 20. I am Dazzler, and joined with me is Squid. Squid, we saw Game of Thrones last match, and they were fantastic. Excellent passing plays between Andy and Parker, and now we get to see them again, this time taking on Thumb and the Backpack, a team that's 3-3 right now in groups. And honestly, we might have a closer match than we had last time. We don't know for sure, but regardless of that, I'm excited to see more of Game of Thrones.
All right, two things I have to say about this. One, if you're wondering about that interview we're going to do with Andy, we decided to push it back until after this match, so that way we can get that moving. But also, I really love this team name, Thumb in the Backpack. I really want to see the stat sheet to see if Thumb truly is carrying the backpack, but Snarky Schmuck, we'll have to see if he can really pull his own weight, so to speak.
Yeah, so it's Snarky Schmuck and Thumb Bump. But so with that, wait, if it's Thumb, yeah, so Snarky, he's the backpack essentially. He's the Snarky Schmack is the backpack. I hate myself. Let's go.
Don't worry, you're not the only one.
Wow, see, we're becoming friends already. I'm loving this. Okay, no, but we're getting ready to get into this next game. I believe we are. Are we? What map are we looking at? Is that Neo Tokyo or is that?
I have no idea actually. I couldn't tell you. I recognize a lot of the maps, but I just can't get a lot of the names sorted.
Yeah. Either way, though, it is a nighttime map, whether or not it's Night Urban Central or Neo Tokyo, either one. But Game of Thrones, do you think they're going to still have the same energy moving into this next game?
Of course. They're going to have so much momentum after coming out of their last match. We talk about momentum within the series, but especially coming out of that game, they've got to be feeling incredibly confident in themselves. They now have a record of 5-1 in their group stage, and they were pretty well on fire when we last saw them with a 6-1 lead at the end of the last game. So I have a lot of confidence in them.
Yeah, I do too, and it looks like they just have been dominating, especially in that last match or so. Just again, the way that they're moving with the ball, this is the competitive Rocket League that we've come here to see, and they're not the only team like this. There are others that we will see tomorrow when we progress in the bracket play, but we'll see how these guys do against them in the Pack here.
And it looks like we are on Urban Night, and I have to say Urban is one of my favorite maps in the game. Then again, basically any map that came out on release is my favorite map in the game. As you know, I've been playing since basically day number 1, and I really enjoy it. Now Parker, he's going to show us he's playing from minute number 1, trying to get that one into the upper left, but Snarky is there, and already Thumb in the Backpack. I'm not sure if it's Thumb in the Backpack. It might be Snarky and the Backpack.
Snarky and the Backpack. You think Thumb?
I don't think that rolls off the tongue though.
No, it doesn't. I'm thinking about this way too much, but Parker's not thinking about this at all as he gets the juicy flick and the first goal of this best of 3.
Parker, the striker for Game of Thrones, makes it work out this time around. Thumb just a little bit too early jumping at that ball. Didn't look like he had a pretty good read, but right now I gotta reiterate, Thumb, the backpack is looking like it's kind of dragging you along the ground, which is an interesting image to paint in my head. But Snarky, excellent flick right there to start things off, but does not have the boost to follow.
No boost to follow. He's coming in right off the kickoff. Tried to see if he can equalize off a quick kickoff goal, but they've been caught out of position. And Andy, he's just going to carry it all the way in. I told him he needed to win this one so he could come back on the desk because we only interview the winners. And he said, okay, Daz, I'm gonna be the backpack for Game of Thrones. I'm loving it.
He's going to be the backpack. Well, I guess that's one way to put it. You just, all right, well,
see,
we know.
I'm about to confuse you so hard on this one.
Don't worry, you did that in game number 1 of series number 1. So you don't have to concern yourself with that. Snarky with an excellent shot right there. An absolute blast to the right-hand side, but no such luck. Andy will be there for the touch away. Thumb with the backpack. Now looking at a potential offense. This one's going to find the back wall. Andy with a wonderful cross to get that way from the defender. Or sorry, offense. Well, I guess he did get away from himself, but now Parker is forced into the air. Second touch in their favor, Thumb bump. Finds Snarky. This one moving towards the back wall, and he's going to have to get up here pretty quick. Does get the touch away. Now moving back down the side, and we've got a fairly even back and forth game. We're just going to have to see who can start up first, and that's a dangerous ball. Snarky allows it to pass in front. Fortunately, nobody was expecting that one, least of all the opponents.
Yeah, exactly. Game of Thrones expected the initial touch from Snarky. Snarky left it, goes all the way around, and then Thumb Bump carries to the other side. They got to be careful about that, but I don't think Game of Thrones is too worried. Again, they have that 2-goal cushion. Another flick from Andy to draw out the defense, and he gets 2 with that flick. Knowing that, these guys can apply pressure in some interesting ways.
And you know what I've noticed? That Game of Thrones, in their 2 matches in the last series, they actually got, oh, that was close. But in their last match of the last series, both of the matches, sorry, they had 2 goals right off the bat. And once again here, they seem to perform very well in the opening seconds of the game, and that's held true as far as we've seen. But we've been seeing a significant amount of pressure coming out from Thumb and Backpack versus their previous opponents. We'll have to see if they can keep it up. Parker forcing to the corner. Thumb Bump will keep this one alive. And Parker in the air. Thumb Bump for the challenge. Does bump Parker away. Snarky has to deal with this shot, and he's looking for a double tap on or a flip reset, I believe. He was searching for that, but now Snarky down the other way. No boost left in the tank. Can't get the flick over top. Thumb Bump looking for the follow. Oh my goodness. Snarky with the unintentional redirect, but it was fantastic nonetheless. That was 100% calculated. Rocket
I was scared. I was really scared because he goes off. Yeah. He jumps off of the top of the goal, and it just bounces off the side of his wheel into the net. I thought he was going to save it. I was really scared for Thumb in the backpack, but Snarky says, I'm supposed to be the backpack. I'm going to take this goal. Thank you. And they're down only by 1 now with 2:20 left, in a much better position than they were earlier.
And that's incredibly confusing because watching the replay even, it looks like it was going to hit the nose hitbox, but it just didn't. Some sort of sorcery, but a great passing play right there. Snarky looking for the follow, but gets shut down. And he is there. And I believe it was a bit too tight of an angle for him to pull off, but still an immense amount of pressure. A great connection there from Thumb Bump. There will be Andy in the air now on the opposite end of the field, finds the back wall. Now Thumb Bump attempting to possess out of his own half. Followed by Snarky, but Parker is too quick on the draw and beats Thumb Bump to the ball. It's an open net, and they put it through. They regain their 2-goal lead.
And like you said, Parker just too quick on that one. You see Snarky come up, and he can't get a touch. He ends up bumping Parker, but the rotation is too late for Thumb to come in on that one. And unfortunately for him, Parker has that shot all day. He's going to score in the open net.
And Thumb had their decision to make of whether to go for the challenge or try and retreat to the net and give Parker a bit more to shoot at, but also give Thumb a bit more time to react. And now an excellent play there from Parker, and he's going to do it all. Or sorry, that was Andy. I got these names mixed up, but he did it all himself regardless. Look at this.
Andy, again, gets a nice solo flick. This kid is on fire today, and he's only heating up as time goes on.
Right. This is what I said about Game of Thrones coming into this series. They just took a game 6-1 and took the series 2-0. And now it's 4-1 in their favor as we approach the minute-and-a-half mark, and they do not look like they're slowing down anytime soon. I really love that Thumb in the backpack. They're bringing a little bit more heat to the kitchen than the previous opponents, Namaste, but it's still not quite enough. And I feel like a lot of that might be a little bit of overconfidence on defense. I've seen Thumb making plays in the back half that just didn't quite go out in their favor. And if those plays hadn't happened, it could be a 1 or 2 goal game as opposed to 3. But a decent fight nonetheless. Andy and Parker they've had to be giving more respect to their opponents is the word I'm trying to get out of there. And that's Snarky, excellent demo on Parker, and this could turn into a great counterattack. Finds Thumb Up on the transition upfield, but not quite enough power to put that one through Parker, who respawns just in time.
And I like how there's so much trust in between Game of Thrones. Parker responds, and Andy doesn't even rotate back. He goes to the boost. He's going to score his 5th one here, but these guys are in perfect sync almost. The trust between these guys, it's like one of those animes, an unbreakable bond.
And that's going to be one of the questions we're going to have to ask him is how long they've been playing together, because they do look like they have some pretty good chemistry as a duo. And now with 44 seconds left, it's looking like they're going to be able to take game 1. Thumb in the backpack have a little bit they can look at moving in to game number 2, but I'm really loving to see some of those connections that they're making in the midfield and in the air even, that Game of Thrones aren't able to connect with themselves in order to make the defense happen. So some decent pressure coming from the blue side of things here in game number 1, but it's just not quite enough, and their defense, I feel like, could use a little bit of work, because Game of Thrones seems to make plays where none yet exist, and I feel like it could merit a little bit of respect from their opponents. But now Thumb, opportunity downfield, doesn't have any boost in the tank, but has the angle on net, puts it through, and that's going to be a little bit of a consolation goal, but still, you take what you can get.
Yep, you can, especially so. You want to make this loss as painfully as possible. I never thought I'd have to say that. I can't believe it. It just all came out at once. But yeah, you do. In a sense, that's really how it is. They're going 13 seconds left. They have to score 3 goals. Not going to be possible. But if they can lessen the blow, they'll feel a lot better going into this game too.
And Andy looking for a little bit more. Oh, does he have the double tap? Not quite. Parker going to send it towards the net, looking for a little bit more. But Game of Thrones, they don't really need a little bit more. They got that 3-goal lead at the end of the game, unless something changes right here. Looks like he's going to keep it up. But I think regardless of the outcome right here, oh my goodness.
Oh, bang.
Bang. That's what you say.
Bang.
All right, enough of that.
He carries it. Good flick. And the follow to make sure it goes in. GG. believe game number 1 is going to go to Game of Thrones. And honestly, if you've been watching this long, this is no scary story. This is kind of expected.
And now I'm kind of wondering, they're looking at if they take game number 2 here, they're going to move their record to 6-1. They're going to be pretty high in the seeding, and it's making me wonder who they lost to, because we don't have that immediately available to us. I have to wonder. It must be one of the absolute top tier teams in this tournament, like Seoul Esports. If you're unfamiliar with that team, they almost made it into the RRS. They were just 1 game away. And actually, I was really counting on them to make it. I love that team. They're real good guys. I spoke to Bork a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. They're great.
So much fun.
Seoul Esports roster, Bork and Mikey12 playing today, and those two are just absolute treats to be around. There are also some other good teams with a lot of good competition with Lego and Mom playing together.
Under the team name Mom Buy Me Legos.
Yes. I was trying to remember the team name. That's it. So there's a lot of competition today. I can't wait to see those teams face off against each other. And then you have Game of Thrones to add into the mix. And they got the team synergy. Going into this game number 2, it's going to be whether or not Thumb in the Backpack can necessarily adjust to these high-level teams.
And a couple of other high-level teams I'd like to call out is, I believe, Minnesota Nice beat out Mech OG, which is another team I wanted to call out. So we got some stiff competition there, but we're going to be seeing a lot more of that as we move into the bracket stage tomorrow. But right now, we're in the here and now. Game of Throws already on the attack here in game number 2 against Thumb and the Backpack. But we're now seeing the orange half of the field. And this could really go either way depending on the adaptations from the blue half of the field. And Game of Throws, they're just going to try and keep playing what they have been. It's been working out for them perfectly in so far. Taking a 6-2 win, game number 1. It's going to be Thumb Bump trying to possess this one in the own end of the field. Snarky's quick to that ball. Unable to make a follow. Got Parker in the zone looking for some sort of flip reset. Actually passes it off to Andy, finds the angle to cut it inside of the net. And they're not getting goals as quickly as they usually do in the first moments of the game, but they're starting out.
And I want to say it's Thumb here where he could challenge this ball while it's in the air, but I think he's expecting that reset. He's expecting the flip reset and the flick, and it just pinches off the bottom of the car, and it goes to the side where I believe either Parker or Andy, one of them, was sitting there ready and waiting to take that shot.
You have to respect those flip resets, especially from the star striker of their team. It was Parker trying to make that play, pass it off to Andy, but you just have to give that kind of mechanical respect, and flip resets can be so scary, even in the wrong hands. We've seen plenty of that, and now a double tap opportunity. Parker's going to set it off the backboard, nice and easy, baits out the defender, and it's just a textbook goal for Game of Throws.
Yeah, and this is just Thumb Bump struggling here. The Fields backflip, and Parker sees that before the ball even bounces off the wall. He goes up and gets a nice double tap in the net.
And to Thumb's merit, not necessarily sure if he actually felt backflip or if he intentionally backflipped to try and reset himself, because it didn't look like he was going to have very much time to get up for that ball. We don't really know what his boost situation was in that spot, unfortunately. So Game of Throws is going to nice and easily capitalize on that, but it's still a 2-goal game. Plenty of chance, and Thumb Bump's moving upfield. We'll have to see what they can do with it. Andy, the tap down to Parker. A little bit too far across the field to be a threat on the net, but it's quickly coming in towards center. Nice high pop. Andy playing a defensive midfield, going to try and win this 50-50. Double commit there from Thumb and Backpack, and this might result in an extended offense, or Andy's just going to find the angle himself, and Parker does actually secure the goal. Thumb Bump had the save on that ball, something you should note. An incredible defensive play there, reacting to this unexpected angle. Yeah, you see Thumb Bump, he wants to go for the initial challenge, but the mechanics from Andy, he gets that beautiful flick to send it so towards the net, and it's on target. He has to readjust, and he wants to be able to stop the ball in time. But despite that, Parker had it read and reacted and got a nice dunk to secure 3-goal lead now with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Game of Throws got to be feeling incredibly confident moving towards the last 3 minutes of this game. Their synergy has been absolutely phenomenal so far in apparently the entire tournament to have such a record as they do. And now Andy looking for a stealing shot, has the flip to work with, no touch made. Thumb Up will try and touch this one away to get past Parker. Nice one on the 50-50. This could turn into a chance. Andy going to quickly shut that one down, coming off the ceiling once again. Excellent catch as well, but Snarky quick to touch that one into the orange corner. Thumb Bump now in the air looking for the angle towards the net. That's inside the post, but Parker's able to make it there even without the boost to work with, and he makes it happen. Game of Throws, they're phenomenal on offense, and they still manage to make it work on defense. Yeah, just barely sneaking that one through. And then you can just see, again,
it's just how well these guys, you can tell they've been playing Rocket League for quite this time, just from how well they've been able to make such strong saves, and then the plays off the ceiling, and as well as the crazy shots and passes we've seen throughout the past couple of series. Game of Thrones just looking like a dominant force.
And I really do want to highlight the mechanical skill that it takes to pull off those ceiling shots, because you can see freestyling teams down there in Platinum and Diamond making ceiling shots against their opponents, but it's really difficult to make ceiling shots work against opponents of such a high caliber, because Thumb in the Backpack are definitely nothing to laugh at. I know that their UW tag, they're coming, they're playing as a couple of college teammates, and they're no slouches. Unfortunately, I don't know what their CRL standing is at the moment, or if they're playing the open ladder, or if they're in league play, but I can see they're making a lot of passing plays, they're making good decisions. It's just Game of Thrones, their mechanical prowess is just so good that it catches them off guard once in a while.
Yeah, and then there's always that switch, right, from 2s to 3s, and you can play in CRL, and that's a 3v3 tournament. This is, again, 2v2, lots of games going on today as well, but there's still plenty of time left into the tournament for you to find that synergy with your teammate. Unfortunately, though, in this game, there's only 1 minute and 8 seconds left.
Game of Thrones with a 3-goal lead, and they've had a pretty good record of keeping their leads. I don't think we've ever seen them drop one in so far. As that 1-minute buzzer does sound, things are not looking good for Thumb in the Backpack. Now Parker, off the ceiling, not going to be able to make contact. Snarky has an open backboard downfield, can't get the angle, and Andy's going to put it over the top, using the backboard to get a pass out to Parker, who might now have a counterattack. Looking for the shot, sends it up high, but Snarky is there to make the save. And an excellent counter on the transition, but Game of Thrones able to send that one downfield, and now Andy crossing it in front of the net. Able to make an offense out of what seems like such a hopeless defense, and Parker's going to send this one to the backboard, out and away, unfortunately. But at the same time, they don't need any more goals to win. They're just playing so well, though, keeping on so much pressure when it seems like they might be out of boost or out of position, and they just make it work. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, these guys have very solid positioning, and they know how to read and react to almost any situation given to them. And again, the fact that they just have that team synergy only helps in those single decisions because they work together at the same time. With that being said, once this ball hits the ground, they're going to get another sweep.
Oh, boy. Nice save there at the end from Thumb Bump, but Game of Thrones will take it in the end. And it's resounding. We can really see that Game of Thrones, they have worked their way here, and they're going to make a bout for that #1 spot, I'll say.
And you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad for a couple of reasons, because it's always good to see up-and-coming teams, like teams that, like for me, I've never seen Game of Thrones until today. Yeah. So seeing this roster and how well they've been playing together is just fantastic to look at. And then what's also cool about the fact that they won was because, like we said, we did move that Andy interview back until after this series. And I told him, I was like, you better win. Because we only interviewing the winners, okay? We're pushing you back. That means we got all the faith in you. So obviously, casters, production, everybody has faith in you winning this one, and they don't disappoint. So guys, we're going to cut to a short break, and then we'll have Andy here on the desk. We'll get to talk to him for a little bit. Don't go anywhere.